It's the beginning of 2021, and as a multifamily broker, you can imagine I get calls all day long from investors wanting to buy multifamily assets, needing to buy multifamily assets, and they can't find jack. Why is that? Stick around, I got you. Let's go! I know it's super frustrating when you can't find assets to buy. And if you can't find assets to buy, that means there aren't any assets for me to sell. And if there aren't any assets for me to sell, mama ain't happy. Now there is certainly more sale activity happening in the under 50 unit mark, but this video is about why we're not seeing anything over 50 units, more particularly over 100 units for sale. There are 5 dynamics at play here that I'm seeing and hearing from investors during my phone calls. Number 1, refinancing rates are insane right now. I mean, you can borrow for sub 3% up to 4% depending on the type of asset, 30-year ammo, interest only, no personal guarantees, My number 1 competition right now as a real estate broker is not other real estate brokers, it's the refi. I mean, just last month, I procured 6 offers on a $47 million deal for a seller, several of which were acceptable to them, and just before signing a letter of intent, the seller informs me they're gonna refi. For number 2, let me show you 2 facts. As you can see on an NMHC rent payment tracker website, as of January 20th, 89% of tenants have paid their rent. And secondly, on the National Apartment Association website, you can see on average, occupancies are around 95%. So let me show you what this means. If we have a 200 unit apartment complex renting for an average of $1,000 a month, then our gross potential rent would be $2.4 million. If we know the average occupancy right now is 95%, then we should be bringing in $2,280,000. Now, in looking at past records, we know that in 2019, on the latter half of the year, the average rent collection was 92.4%. So that would mean that we should be collecting $2.1 million of the $2,280,000. But we're collecting 88.6% of that number, so that's $2,020,000. You take the difference, which is $86,000, and divide it by a 5.25 cap, and you've got $1,650,000 difference. So if you own that apartment complex of 200 units, do you sell now and potentially leave $1,650,000 on the table, or do you wait just a little bit longer to make sure we get maximum value with maximum rent collection? Reason number 3 we aren't seeing many larger apartment complexes come for sale is that we've already sold 24% of the inventory in just the last 3 years. Now, those are stats for the northern half of Florida. Other markets in the US may be a little bit more or a little bit less, but on average, 8% of inventory sells per year. So that's 24% over a 3-year period. Now you may say, Bo, there's still 75% of the inventory that hasn't sold in the last 3 years. Yes, but what percentage of those have already refinanced? What percentage of those are owned in long-term funds? What percent of those are owned by owners that may sell, but their price is always nutty? And what percent of those, if they were for sale, wouldn't fit your criteria in the first place? And reason number 4, which I've been getting quite often, is uncertainty on taxes. Many investors are waiting to see what the current administration's plans are for the 1031 exchange and the long-term capital gains tax. For the 1031 exchange, will it remain in place? And if so, will it look the same? For long-term capital gains sales that have been held for longer than a year, most higher income sellers pay a little over 20%. Will it go to over 40%? Or will it be something in between? Or will it change at all? Generally, when there's financially related uncertainty, markets slow way down. And the number 5 reason why I hear there aren't as many deals for sale on the market right now, vaccines. Many investors feel that as vaccinations get out to the rest of the world, then consumer and investor confidence will increase, and so will prices and value. So for many investors that would like to sell but don't have to, they may be waiting for the most optimum time for everything to be perfect. I will end by saying that I'm still extremely bullish on the larger apartment sale market. Debt terms will continue to be excellent. Rent collections continue to improve. The tax plan will be known soon enough. Vaccinations are being distributed. There's a tremendous amount of equity still to be placed. We're still extremely far behind in the number of units that need to be constructed to keep up with the rental market. And all the reasons in this video right here why multifamily is the investment of the future. I hope this video brought you value. Do me a favor, hit the like button right here and give me a subscribe. See you on the next one.